Hello, this video is about the mileage on the 2017 Honda Pilot. I know when I looked online they said 2027. The vehicle I wound up getting, they say 1826. I've gotten nowhere close to that. Nowhere close. I recently went across the nation, or across multiple states, and the Honda Pilot, the computer on board said I was averaging 19 miles per gallon. I know from my former Honda, whenever I did the mileage manually, the computer always ran 3 to 4 miles higher than I was actually getting. And I've heard that with other makes and models also. It tends to always run high. So in reality, I was really getting 15 to 16 miles a gallon with this Honda versus the 26. Now, I got this vehicle because my last one was a CRV, and I wanted the mileage to be the same. And this is nowhere close to being the same. I'm literally averaging like 13 in the city and about 16 on the highway. Nowhere close to what they say. I took it in. They wanted really nothing to do with me. They said it was me, it was my driving, my fuel I was putting in, that it was the oil I was putting in, which I told them nothing has changed except for the vehicle. This is the only thing that has changed. I get my gasoline where I've always gotten it. I get my oil change where I've always gotten it. I drive the way I always do, which pretty much a stickler at doing the speed limit or just a hair above. I'm not a speeder at all. So to which they gave me this. Yeah, they actually admit in this paper that they test drive the city portion at 20 miles per hour, and down here to make the final fuel economic estimates closer to expected real world, they dropped the city by 10%. So they're actually not going at 20 miles an hour, they're going below 20 miles an hour, which, unless you're in a school zone, you're not going 20 miles an hour. I mean, the town I'm in recent years, they have increased speed limits in the town. I mean, there's some areas, the majority of areas are 35. There's some areas that actually go up to 50 now. Nowhere near 20. 20 is so unrealistic. The highway portion, they said they drove at an average of 48 miles on rural and interstate without idle time. And down here, to make the final, fuel economic estimates closer, they dropped the highway mileage by 22%. Yeah, there's nowhere you can go legally 48 miles per hour and below on an interstate and highway unless you're in the mountains in some major curves. And that's not typical. Typical is 70. And there are areas in America where it's 85. Typical is 70. They actually have you at an illegal rate, because anything below 55 you can get a ticket for going too slow. So Honda is actually test driving their vehicles at illegal speed limits and then giving you this BS, and then when you bring it in, they blame you for driving inappropriately. I'd really love to know how driving the speed limit is inappropriate. And I'm making sure I only use the right gas and put in, the oil changes whenever they come due. Absolutely ridiculous. So heads up, Honda's not what it's used to be. The last time I went and got my oil at my typical place, I talked to the guy, and he actually said a lot of people with newer Hondas, 16 and 17 models, are not happy whatsoever. They're having major issues with their vehicles. So yeah, heads up, their mile per hour is, or mile per gallon is nowhere near what they're stating. and they test drive it at illegal levels, unrealistic illegal levels. So heads up.